Welcome to Capture the Reps podcast, the podcast for fitness creatives by fitness creatives. Each episode, we will dive into techniques, strategies, and behind-the-scenes stories to help fast-track your career. Whether you're behind the camera or in front of it, this is the space to grow, create, and connect. Hit it, Sam. Capture the Reps podcast. We're back again here with Parker, and we got Chris in the corner as he's filming something for Instagram right now.
That's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
So, anywho, here with Parker. Today, we're going to talk with Parker about everything on creating content for yourself. So, Parker's a coach at Tempe, CrossFit Tempe. But also does a lot of things on the side too, which we'll dive into. But really, I want people to leave with this episode today with the idea of like, all right, now I know how to film myself. Here's some effective tips from someone that actually does it. So, no pressure. You got to come with some serious juice.
No pressure ever.
Let's do it.
So let's first talk. I don't want to dive too much into details because we can cover that at a different time of like backstory and all that kind of stuff. But just give people like a lay of the land of like what you do day to day and how you use content day to day and like what you're filming. And then we can get more into like some tips and tricks for people. But just give us kind of like an overview of like how you're using content or how you're filming content daily.
Yeah. So the starting basis of it is I'm an endurance athlete and a coach that was trying to get into the social media world and figure out how to leverage those two things in social media. The problem with it is I had no background in content creation, nothing there. And so it was a lot of learning by myself of how to film by yourself because it's awkward when you first start filming and filming in empty gyms. And if you're scared to talk in front of other people, you're going to be stuck by yourself filming. And so that's kind of what I had to learn was, okay, if I won't talk in front of other people, how do I set up my tripod? How do I set up all my camera so that I can film by myself and still be producing the content?
And then you have a personal account, you have a training account, and then do you also help out with the
CrossFit Tempe page?
Yeah. Let's go specifically with like your personal brand. So right now you're working on attaining sponsors and having people backing in your corner and things like that. What are they? What kind of conversations do they typically have for you? What are they looking for from you as an athlete and as a creator?
So the biggest thing from the athlete side is all brands want nowadays is to have their athletes to have a social media page. That's how they market, is using their athlete's platform to then speak to the newer audience. And so the biggest thing for me was, how do I create that audience? And like we said, I film everything by myself. A lot of the talks with these brands is, okay, we need content from you. I don't care how you get it, we just need it. And so for me, it did start originally by setting up a tripod, getting a million angles.
Right.
I would do a workout, and then after the workout, I would rest for 5 minutes, and then I would basically do the same reps of the workout to then film the content behind it. So say the workout had like bar muscle-ups and cleans in it, I'd go back right afterwards, do more bar muscle-ups, move the camera around a bunch, and act as if it was filmed as when I was doing the real workout.
No, that makes sense. And is there anything so they're kind of giving you free reign, at least the conversation that you've had, they're kind of giving you free reign to create whatever you want to create, but they want to see deliverables from you, like actual videos and pictures and stuff like that. Exactly.
Brands don't want to be throwing somebody's face on their page, and then when you click on their link to their Instagram, it's a private account with no posts. Like that doesn't work for them. So the biggest thing is having that kind of content library, that profile, that portfolio behind it. And so they don't really care as much as what I do, as long as it, one, looks semi-professional, has a group to it, and two, there's effort put into it. Like people can see when a video has effort. Propping your phone up on a water bottle and just putting your phone on a tripod makes the biggest world of difference when you're filming your gym videos.
So how are you building that library then of stuff that you can pull from, because obviously you're sitting right here, so you don't have the ability this morning to go in and film something and then post. Like you're probably posting something that you filmed previously. Like what's your process with that and how do you handle all those things?
The process behind it is I take rest days on the weekends since I work late. And so I'll either be like, okay, I'm going to go into the gym today and film. And I go in, clear cut plans, have sometimes even storyboards written out of like, this is what I want to film. This is how we're going to do it. Or other days I'm like, oh, this workout looks cool. Let's film it afterwards. So I'll do the workout, hit it hard, and then wait 5 minutes and then go and film it.
So you're intentional with like the structure of the time, like, hey, weekends are for filming.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to necessarily worry about that during the week whenever you got a million things going.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, for me, like performance and getting better is number one. So how do I make it so the filming's not impacting that? Because if I was doing a workout and I'm stopping every 20 seconds to move the camera, that's not giving the best workout.
Right.
And so that's why I love using the weekends is I kind of even do them as like skill portions where it's focusing on movement quality, but it's also, I'm not trying to go for time or anything. I can move that camera around, see how the reps feel, see how the reps look, and pull it back up real quick and be like, okay, that was a good shot. Let's move on to the next one. So that weekend structure, it's not about training, it's about filming.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how I'm assuming you utilize scheduled posting?
I don't.
You don't, really?
No. I've been working on kind of 2 different styles of formats for the coaching page. So I do a coaching video, and then I've been doing a viral video, just a video that's entertaining. There's no learning behind it. It's just utilizing engagement. Like,
yes.
Oh, this looks fun to watch.
It's like finding the balance between like, hey, I want to be actually providing something of value to people here, but also at the same time, like, you kind of got to feed into the algorithm a little bit of like, oh, hey, we got to have a fun kind of memey sort of screw around post to go with it.
Exactly, because there's 2 sides of social media nowadays. There's the side of people that will use it to kind of learn things. So it's like, oh, I have a question. Let me type that into like TikTok search or YouTube search. And then there's the other side of just you're bored in bed and you're just doom scrolling. And so you kind of got to play both aspects of it when you're creating content, because sometimes the footage just doesn't like appear at the right time for it.
Typically, like when you're looking at what to film on those weekend days, where do you go for inspiration and stuff? Because you just mentioned like a couple different like ways to actually create a different piece of content, whether it's an informative, whether it's more on the viral side, whether it's more of just like a creative type thing. Are there certain sources that you go to, or do you try to make certain content around like inspiration? You know what I'm saying, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. For the coaching side, I typically just look at like programming for the week. So I either look at our gym's programming, I either look at like what my coach has programmed for me, and it's just like, okay, what would be a good coaching point from that? So I use that kind of coaching knowledge to be like, okay, what do people struggle with? Like, what's something that I saw this week that frustrated me at the CrossFit gym? And now let's go make a video about that. And then for the viral side, that one's a lot harder. Like, it's trying to take a step back and be like, okay, what would I look at that would amaze me? That's also not a superhuman feat. Like,
right.
It's funny. I've used like ChatGPT to try to look up like viral ideas, and it's like, oh, go pull a train, and it's like, I don't have access to a train, and also how heavy a train is. Like, It's not realistic. So it is kind of taking that step back and being like, okay, what could I possibly do?
Yeah.
The idea and the editing to me is king over the filming. I can film stuff that has done way better on just filming on my phone, that it's like, oh, I just realized this. I don't have any of my camera gear. Slap it on to like I said, a water bottle. Like I'll elevate it off the ground with a box or something. But the idea and the editing behind it matters to me so much more because I don't have the camera skills to make it look amazing. Like I film everything on a DJI Pocket 3. I just got, a Sony. So
good man. Hey, Chris.
We all make mistakes.
Chris, oh wow. Okay, we're gonna go there.
That's all right.
Yep.
And like the first day I filmed with the Sony, I have 0 usable footage. Everything was out of focus. When you're coming from a guy that doesn't know what ISO is, that doesn't know what white balance is, that doesn't know what aperture is, like when I first got the camera, I was destined to fail. Like I'm so used to using the Pocket 3, which has autofocus on it. It has such a great sensor in it that I didn't have to worry about that. And now when it's like, oh, I want the better shots, like it comes behind it. You don't get to just hop in an F1 car and be a professional race car driver.
Right.
I think there's something admirable about the fact that it's like, hey, even though I might suck at this, I'm going to give it a hell of a shot.
So you would say most of your time is spent on the editing side.
Yeah, I feel like you could have the nicest camera in the world, but if you have 30-second dead clips, or even on like TikTok nowadays, like if you have 1 second of dead space in that first 3 seconds of a video, they haven't watched the rest of the video. It could be you giving like solving world hunger in the next 80 seconds behind it, but if you didn't start with the intro in the first 3 seconds, you're screwed. Like nobody's attention span nowadays like is signed up to go watch something unless it's a documentary or something where they sit down, know the video's an hour long, and they're ready to go watch it. Where if you're trying to make, especially that short form content, you have less than a second to capture their attention. And so how do we do that? It's that first frame. It's that first editing. It's that title hook. It's all of the little details that matter. And you could have the best piece of content in the world, but if it's too far back in the video, nobody's going to see it.
Kelly right now is smiling somewhere, listening to you talking, because
Absolutely.
Kelly is helping us tremendously with like the TikTok side of things, at least personally for me. I mean, she's helping us with everything, but what you just said there, I'm like, oh, I just posted on my personal TikTok, I just posted a bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh, none of that had any of that, which is probably why it's not doing great.
It's not grabbing.
Yet.
And YouTube, you have 4 seconds to capture the person's attention before they click off the video. That comes from the start of the title to the thumbnail and then the actual video. And then now for social media, you have 1 frame. You have 1 frame is all it takes for that person to decide if they're going to watch the video or not. And then if they have bad internet, you only have that cover photo. Whatever the cover photo is when it's loading is all you got, or they're swiping to the next one. Everybody in the world makes content nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody has an amazing camera sitting in their pocket. And so if they're all making videos, like, how do you stand out from the rest?
How do you answer that question? How do you stand out amongst the crowd of everyone else trying to educate, let's say, the everyday gym goer, or let's say someone specifically in the CrossFit or maybe in the endurance space of like, because a lot of the times you're providing information that's very useful. So how are you getting that attention?
You just got to post and then try to make something better every single time afterwards. And so it's like everybody's like, oh, post more. But the reality is it's not just posting more. It's posting, being the most critical of your own work, and then trying to find one little thing to do better. And so like if you look at my content when I first started posting, the cues of like how to do a bar muscle up have not changed in the 2 years that I've been posting stuff. But the video quality from the first one to the last one is like, it's night and day. You're just like, holy shit, this guy actually knows what he's talking about, versus, oh, he set up his phone and is talking about it.
What are you looking at to measure that success? Is it strictly like a number standpoint? Is it how it looks, how it feels? Like what are you looking at?
I think a lot of people can relate to this. When I first started posting like videos and content on myself, I hated watching my videos. Like I thought it was the most cringy thing in the world. I hated doing it. But then you learn from that and you're like, okay, like if you're telling yourself it's cringy, it's probably not because it's how your voice sounds. It's probably because the video is probably a little bit cringy. Like, and so if you can take the self-criticism and go back at it, like I have no problem watching my videos back 10, 20 times now when I'm in the editing process, where it used to be like, oh, I'm editing and like I would never even rewatch the video before I uploaded it because it pained me to watch. And it's like, it sucks, but the reality is like if it pains you to watch, why would somebody else watch it?
Yeah, there's something I always say, like anytime I have my camera and somebody says something about like picture of me or video of me, I always say there's a reason I'm behind the camera.
Yeah. But like,
or at a desk in a poorly lit area in the corner of a
or in the
studio.
dungeon.
Yep.
That's why we put him over there and then us two
me.
are up here.
They can't see me.
They can see you. There's a camera looking right at you.
Okay. This guy
And its
doesn't
aperture
watch WWE.
at like 1.4.
I watched WWE. Well, I watched it when it was WWE.
If they had a 1.4 24-70 lens, I would spend $15 million to buy that.
When you create something, are you switching it up for the different types of platforms?
No, but I should.
Okay.
If you look and you put the retention graphs of YouTube versus like YouTube, we'll just talk short form content right now. Like
Yep.
YouTube Shorts, TikTok versus Instagram. TikTok's people's attention span is less than 1.5 seconds. My average view rate on TikTok is probably 10%, like for the whole video.
Right.
Where on YouTube, it's like 94%. They watch the whole video. So I don't know if it's the demographic of who's on each app. Then Instagram's around the middle. I don't know if it's the demographic on each app, but it's 3 short form styles of content on 3 very different viewers. And so that's like, if you're posting to TikTok, they want the crazy things, they want the shareable things, they want the viral things. If you're on Instagram, it's kind of that mix of that. You kind of want some informational, you kind of want some viral. YouTube, I've done way more success on informational. Like the stuff that will go closer to viral on TikTok does horrible on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the most interesting thing is like YouTube, that YouTube audience does so much better at sitting there and watching a video.
So when you create something, are you creating it for Instagram? Are you creating it for YouTube Shorts? Are you creating it for TikTok?
I posted on all, but yes, there is.
Like which one are you like? I am creating this video for this.
The viral content is for TikTok.
Okay.
So anything of me doing something stupid or just doesn't look right for in the gym is that attention grabbing hook. That is for TikTok. The teaching is for YouTube. So that's the how to do a bar muscle up, how to do a clean, how to get better at CrossFit, how to get better at running, whatever that is. That's all for the YouTube side and the Instagram side. The Instagram side for me is more of that portfolio. YouTube doesn't have, like for their shorts, profile page where you can scroll down and look at all the shorts quickly, where Instagram does. Like that's for Instagram, big headers so that people can scroll through the page and be like, oh, I want to learn about this today. Click.
That makes sense.
So Instagram's kind of like the in-between of...
Exactly. It's dead middle of TikTok and YouTube.
Because you're making it for yourself, like do you find, like what do you see as the advantages of being a solo, like you are athlete, coach, and creator? Like what, like is there any advantages like that you really enjoy or that really stand out to you doing that kind of stuff? Because it's not easy. It's not easy work at all.
If I'm being honest, there's no advantage. Like it is harder. It takes more time. You don't know what the shots look like. I would say 10 to 20% of your footage doesn't turn out because you can't see what's like. Cameras have screens for a reason to see if you're in focus and stuff. And so unless you're making X's on the ground of perfectly where to stay.
So really you're doing it more like out of necessity then, you would say.
I don't have the money. I don't have the manpower. You can only ask your girlfriend to come film for you so many times.
Right.
Like, and when you're doing it, like going to the gym on a Saturday for 3 hours, like for your own personal brand.
Yep.
It's like you can't just keep dragging your friends. I do it when it's important. So stuff going into the like truck pull or the other endurance events, I'm like, hey, I need a favor. Come hold a camera for me. But other than that, it's just by myself because that's what we got to do right now.
Well, it's like you cash in so many chips with like your close friends, and then they'll like, you know, you only have so many things that you can pull on them. And it's like, do I want to cash them all in now or do I want to wait until later and like all that kind of stuff too? So I get that.
You're like the guy who's got a truck and you're always getting asked to use it for moving. And they're like, oh, Parker's asking me to film again.
Well, that's the hard part. It's like my one roommate, because I'm going to ask him to come help me film some stuff next week. He's also about to move out in like a month. And I'm like, all right, looks like we're trading moving for camera holding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, fair trade.
Exactly.
Which is also a good workout and possible clip for TikTok.
Always.
I know, well, because they have a lot of that like technology that can face track. Do you utilize that a lot?
On the Pocket 3, no, because you can tell it's not real movement. Okay. And so even I'll use it to keep me in frame, if that makes sense. So it also has like a whole body feature. I use that one more because it's slighter, but like the face tracking one, you can see it just jittering around trying to keep the face perfectly centered. And so that just, it looks unnatural.
So let's dive into that. Let's dive into like some tips for people that are filming themselves. Let's say an individual that's listening right now, you know, they are in a similar situation you are right now with everything we've just described. What tips can we provide to them so that they can go out there and, you know, hit the ground running?
The biggest one I would say is probably like have a plan when you're going in. Don't just say I'm going in to shoot content. So I'm not saying we need to do a full storyboard, but the videos where you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 this. I want this shot, then this. And I even kind of just write them down. Like I write them down on a whiteboard of like, okay, I'm going to talk about this, then I'm going to switch the camera angle. And I'll just shorthand it being like, okay, intro, far, like the movement clip is like a close-up shot. And just having kind of the game plan going into it. Also, one, gets you like distracted from talking to camera by yourself. Two, it makes it so the video flows more. Because if you had somebody else that was there filming you, they're looking through that lens going, okay, how can I make that look better? So you got to kind of think of that up front. Because when you start doing whatever your video is, like you're occupied on that. So if you think about all the angles, all the pieces of content that you want to put in there ahead of time, it just makes it one last thing to think about when you're actually shooting. And then two, film everything twice. Like, don't just say the clip once. Like, say the clip, wait a second, say it again. Like, the worst thing in the world is like I'll film something for coaching and then it's like, okay, that intro is just butchered. And as we talked about earlier, the intro is the most important part of the video. And it's like, okay, well, this whole clip doesn't work well.
Right.
And it's like you can try to film a voiceover or something to make it seem better. But the reality is, like, when you're dealing with that most important part, like, you need that clip. We can't just be sitting here on a podcast and we don't have microphones.
Right. I mean, we could, but we'd have to yell.
Exactly.
Which
I'm down for that. We can try that for an episode.
We could try that for that.
Just put one little DJI mic on the ground.
I mean, I've seen crazier setups before in my
it.
life, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
You know, when you're in school and they're like, you can only talk if you're like holding the stick or whatever.
we're passing around a little DJI mic.
We're just tossing it to each other.
Hey, catch my road.
Hey, people do it. I've seen it. Like, I've seen it done. So I love that you have the structure in place. So talk to me. Let's dive a little bit deeper into that. So you mentioned like a shot list. What else? Like, are you throwing in like different descriptions that are happening within that shot? Are you like writing out like a script?
Well, that's the biggest thing about being by yourself filming is like when you're filming an athlete or something, you can move with them through the movement. And so like, I'm just using an example, like walking lunges, you can start at the low angle and then like pull it back to a higher angle, getting the full shot of them moving closer to you. You don't have that luxury being by yourself. So it's like, okay, put my tripod a foot from the ground, take one step, and then you know that you're going to cut it. So then it's like, okay, move it back to show that you move distance or something like that. It kind of gets difficult. So there is not a shot list per se that's perfect, but you need to think about, okay, what am I cutting to show that effect as if somebody was actually with me? Because professional businesses and professional videographers, they're not the one also speaking. Like, there's two people to a team, so how do we mimic looking like we have a team? It's kind of the biggest thing that I've noticed.
So do you go in with like the edit in mind? Like, when you're putting together your shot list and everything like that, do you already know what you want the final video to look like?
Yeah, so I'll find inspiration. So my coaching videos are very cut and paste, almost the same. Like I said, I try to get better. I change the little things about it, but they're very much quick intro. What are we doing? How are we fixing it? This is how to do it. And so that is very simple. Now, when it comes to the more branded content, it is kind of having an idea behind me. So like I sent you one of me doing like, I saw a match cut edit of, it was a restaurant doing match cuts with like the plates and the food. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, plates, like this is me being nerdy. Oh, plates are also 45-pound plates. Like, okay, now can I switch it to do that? And so I came in with that video in mind of being like, oh, I want the barbell to be perfectly centered all the way through it. And then since I'm doing the truck pull, it's like, oh, that barbell plate will turn into wheels spinning. And so that one was like very, almost storyboarded out the whole thing. I knew every single shot going into it that I wanted. Then some other days that I'm like, I don't really know what shots I want, so I'm just going to take 80 shots of every different angle, and then I'm going to sit there in editing and rewatch this clip 100 times till I find something that I like.
So you lay down one take. Are you like trying to switch something up in the next take? Or are you just providing the same?
Everything the same.
Everything the same. Okay.
And
so this goes back to pre-production then when you're like, hey, I know what I already want.
Yeah.
I just got to go do it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so it's just everything the same, just in case something wasn't out of focus. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I'm learning more. Like, because now that I'm using like an actual camera instead of just the DJI one, like I'm learning like you're out of focus a lot of times if you're filming by yourself. Yeah. And it's a risk versus a reward. And it's like, I am happy that I have the new camera, but it's like, I like filming other people with that more. Like, I don't like filming myself with that more because I don't know the quality. Like, that's like, it's a $500 camera that if I showed up to a professional event to film, everybody's going to laugh at me because I'm holding a little camera going like this.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
You'd be really surprised. Bro, I mean, we know a young lady who doesn't have a lot and creates incredible content.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't need anything crazy. Sure. And that's what, like, I think the best video I've ever, like, view-wise, like-wise, was filmed on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, your phone is an amazing camera. Mm-hmm. And so now if you can just, again, have a good idea, edit good so that the retention stays high. The best part about filming by yourself, because you're talking about like live action and the unpredictability, I just filmed my first ever like class setting. I was doing it for the CrossFit Tempe page of filming like what the coaches are and what the members are. The worst part about that was I have no clue when the coach is going to say something.
Yeah.
So I have 60 minutes of footage.
Right.
And I'm sitting there and editing, waiting for like, oh, was that a good voice line? Mm-hmm. Like, I tried to mark them down. Like, I threw a thumb in front of the screen, like being like, oh, that was a good clip, like right there. But that's the worst part about like filming something unpredictable. You never know when it's going to happen. Like, especially in a competition setting.
Yep.
Like, you never know if somebody's going to fail a rep. You never know if somebody's going to go hit a PR. Like, and that's what's so hard about it. But when you're filming by yourself, you know exactly what's going to happen. So you do have that complete control, which does cut down on, from what I've learned so far, some editing time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it's just because it's like I know exactly the content that I made, and it's easy for me to put out.
Yeah.
When you're filming the unknown and the unknowable, right? And you get that one thing where somebody says something and you're just like, oh, that's going in the video.
Yeah, like you almost start the edit in your head. You mentally clip that.
100%.
The one that I have in mind, because I just saw it on your page a few days ago, was when CJ was doing whatever the rowing workout was from the open where it ended on the row, and he just like falls over the end clip, and it's like the perfect ending clip. Because sometimes you have a video and it's like, well, I can't really end this, but like him falling over, I can imagine you were just like, oh, that's the perfect end. That was the easiest my job has ever been.
There's also ways to create multiple pieces of content from one specific item. So when you're filming yourself, I'd say a huge advantage is that scripted, the structure idea, probably a little bit less time in post, probably a little bit more time in pre, right? They're like, because you have to do a little bit more prep. So it probably evens out, but I think that's a huge advantage for people, especially if they do it the correct way. So what else comes to mind additionally from those 2 points that we could also point out? Maybe just like one more really solid one for people listening that would really help them out when they are creating themselves.
Make as many videos as you can just to learn things. Like the amount of videos that
So be patient in the process.
Yeah. Your first video is not going to get 1,000 views. Like even. Sometimes it does, and it's like you're lucky, and then like, oh, a video blows up and gets 100,000 views, and then you post a video that you spent 20 times more work on it the next day, and it's like 40 views, and you're like, well, what the hell happened there? And so it's just be patient and film, like I joke, film everything. Yeah. Film everything, edit everything. It doesn't matter. Like, you probably relate to this. Like, I was filming a bunch of people for the Desert City Classic, and they were like, oh, thank you so much for doing that for me. And it, like, sure, it's like nice that they get to post it, but it was like, no, this is just practice for me. Like, I got to practice I watched 40 plus workouts and filmed 40 plus workouts of these people, and I just got to know that it was practice for me.
You learn by doing, and the other thing is the best environment to learn how to use a camera within the fitness realm is to just go into the gym and give people videos, right? Because one, like you just mentioned, they're going to be so appreciative, they're going to be so thankful, all of that stuff. And then two, selfishly on our end, it's like, all right, I'm going to try some crazy stuff. I'm going to try some stuff that I've never done before, or never attempted, whatever, so that I'm also learning, I'm also getting better. So everyone's really winning in that scenario. And I think that's the biggest advice I'd give to people is like, you have to learn by doing. You have to go out there and do it. And how you do it is by utilizing your friends, family, your dog in the backyard, or maybe like on a beach, casually filming on a vacation.
Brought the camera.
Perhaps.
Brought the whole setup.
But like stuff like that, right? That's how you get better.
And that's exactly what you said. Like I joked with one of our coaches because he was like, why aren't you charging this for these? I'm like, oh, I'm just using these people. And it's like, I'm not actually using them. It's a win-win for both of us.
Correct.
But it's, at the end of the day, if I'm going to get better, I need to try new things. And for me, like, no, I am not anywhere near a professional editor, videographer, any of that. But it's like, oh, I wanted to learn how like masking works. And so that was the big focus on a few of the videos that I filmed for the Desert City on the athletes, was like, I'm just going to try to add some element of masking in to these 5 videos. And the first video looked awful. And then by the last video, it was like, oh, I'm starting to get the hang of this.
Right.
And now repeat that tenfold over all the different styles. And it's like, okay, now when it comes to creating the content for me that's going to be the biggest this year of filming the truck pull, it's like I have all of those tools.
Exactly right. Exactly right. No, that's definitely the way to approach it. I mean, that's going to set you up for success for everything. Yeah. Just to wrap it up here, any like final parting thoughts or things like that? I mean, I feel like you really laid the groundwork for how to actually film for yourself in an effective way, especially if you're someone that's newer to utilizing a camera and all that kind of stuff. But anything that you want to add?
I'm the farthest thing from a professional, and if I can start making content, anybody can. Like, I knew nothing about it, and so it's just all trial and error. And then one day you get lucky and you get invited to go on some podcast talking about it.
That's it. Learn by doing. And we'll catch you on the next one. Well, that's a wrap on this episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Capture the Reps podcast. If you're a fitness creative and you found this episode helpful, please share this with a fellow creative and keep creating, keep learning, and keep capturing those reps. We'll see you next time.